What is going on, my racing fan? March here. This is Fragbox TV. Okay, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 3 of our first season Asia, and now we are in Indonesia. More specifically, we're in Bali. We're going to stop in a lot of places while we're here in Bali. It's such a cool place to be. It's really beautiful. What are we doing here? We're going to be visiting coral farms and suppliers because obviously we sell corals back here in Canada. We're going to learn a lot about where they come from, how they're grown, new tricks for keeping them, and then we're going to hand pick the best, the cherries and the finest, and then ship them all back to Canada. I cannot wait to share all of these episodes with you guys and show you how much there is out there. Like my whole mind has just opened so much, not even with just corals, just with everything. This was really a really cool and changing trip for me as a person. So we get kicked off in Bali, which is an island of Indonesia. Indonesia is made up of, I think it's, let me check, 18,110 islands. That's a lot of islands. Indonesia also has quite a large population. Today it's sitting at 274 million people. It's the 4th most populous country in the world. And of the Indonesians we met there, they were really nice and really kind people. Bali has got to be one of the nicest places I've ever been. No, it's actually the most beautiful place I have ever visited. It is really spiritual. There are shrines everywhere. There's lots of different religions. In Bali, majority of Balinese people practice a form of Hinduism, and you see the coolest, most beautiful shrines everywhere. It's very tropical, and it's hot, and it's wet, but I like that. I'm okay in that sort of environment. There are beautiful mosques everywhere you go, and it's surrounded by water, obviously, because it's on an island. And we had a chance to explore a lot of different parts of Bali, way off the beaten path, away from the tourists. So I think we got a more authentic feeling for what it's like to be on this island. Everything is just so different than North America. I mean, everything. It's a total culture shock for someone who hasn't been, and I loved it. And as you must know by now, if you've been following the channel, I'm a huge foodie, and boy, did Bali have some good food. It's really, really good. It is quite spicy, and I did get sick at the end of my trip. I think it's kind of to be expected on your first trip to Southeast Asia, so I'm not going to let my 2 days of dying in a Jakarta hotel room spoil the rest of the trip. It was still fantastic. So our money goes a long way in Indonesia, so we ate like kings. If you like seafood, man, it's so fresh because the ocean is literally right there. You pick the lobster that you're gonna eat. This was a really cool restaurant on the beach. Every night we just ate our faces off because it's just so inexpensive. So a meal that should cost $500 here costs maybe $70 US there. So we really took advantage of that. Indonesian food is interesting. It's kind of a fusion. There's a lot of Thai influences I taste, like peanuts and satay. There's lots of barbecue, lots of chicken, lots of rice, nasi goreng. You kind of pick up some of the terms there. Lots of outdoor restaurants, actually most of them, and it's a cool experience. You feel very connected with nature because you're constantly eating outside. You're not eating in an air-conditioned room, and it's just felt very different than anywhere else I've ever been. You feel like you're sitting in the jungle for every single meal. There's almost always a koi pond. A very, very tropical place. And I'd go back to Indonesia in a heartbeat. I'm actually trying to figure out how I can go more often and do this sort of thing more often because I just love it. And I love to eat, and I love to travel, and I don't think I'm alone in that regard. And I'm also really into wildlife, so you'll see in these videos I'm constantly recording something weird like little ants. And because you're always eating outside, there's constantly puppies. This country is just full of puppies, and I made friends with all of them. It's just something that we don't really see in Canada. There's not just puppies walking around everywhere. And now that I think of it, I've never tried Indonesian food before going to Indonesia. It's not really popular over here. Like in Canada, you can find Japanese or sushi on any corner. You can find Thai, you can find Vietnamese, you can find Chinese, you can find every other type of food, but not Indonesian food, and I'm not sure why. We had a chance to go visit a coffee farm to see how it's grown and roasted, because some of the best coffee in the world is coming from Indonesia, Sumatra, like some serious beans. Got to see how it's roasted and also how it's crushed and produced, so that was kind of cool too. Lots of different teas that come out of this region, and I brought back some gifts for some friends and family. This is kopi luwak, which is a coffee made from monkey poo. I'm not kidding, actual monkey poo. It's a luwak, it's some strange creature, and if you ever have the chance to go to Indonesia, I really suggest you go. It's just such a different world and such a magical place. I'm so glad I had this experience. They're really artistic. Like, these people are very good with their hands. The craftsmanship on everything, all the architecture, all the buildings. Look at the way they're carving this thing. It's just incredible. Glass blowing is also huge over there. I think it's sort of a lost art, but not in Bali. It's still alive and well and strong. The whole island just has a different sort of like vibe and energy. It's just a magical place. I was on the hunt for magic mushrooms because I was told that they're popular and grown there, but we didn't have a chance to find any. But I know next time I'm there, find them. You're gonna see stuff if you go that you've never seen. Around every corner is just a new surprise. Next episode, we're gonna go visit a coral facility here in Bali that houses some of the nicest corals I have ever laid eyes on. You guys got to stick around for the rest of the season, because we're going to take you all over Indonesia and we're going to show you some really cool corals and get a little bit more connected with where the corals that we love so much in this hobby come from and how they're grown, how they're taken care of. And we're getting right to the source. And like I said, I cannot wait to share the rest of these videos with you guys. And I thank you very much for watching this episode of Fragbox TV. We will see you back here very soon. Goodbye for now.